early in the rise of semi-pro journalism, but we're well into the decline of an old way of life within the tribe of professional journalists. I call it a tribe because they share a culture and a sense of destiny, and because they think they own the press, that it is theirs somehow because they dominate the practice. The First Amendment said to all Americans, you have a right to publish what you know, what you think. That right used to be abstractly held. Now it is concretely held by Americans. Projects that cause people to exercise their right to a free press strengthen the press, whether or not these projects strengthen the professional journalists' hold on the press. The professional news tribe is in the midst of a survival drama. It has, over the last few years, begun to realize that it cannot live anymore on the ground it settled so successfully as the industrial purveyors of one-to-many, consensus is ours news. The land they were living on, also called their business model, no longer supports their best work. So they have come to a reluctant point of realization that to live on, to keep the professional press going, the news tribe will have to migrate across the digital divide and resettle itself on new ground, or as we sometimes call it, a new platform. Migration, which is easily sentimentalized by Americans, is a community trauma. Pulling up stakes and leaving a familiar place is hard. Within the news tribe, some people don't want to go. These are the newsroom curmudgeons. Other pros are in a more innocent kind of denial still. Or they are quietly drifting away from journalism, or they are being shed as the tribe contracts and its economy convulses. And like reluctant migrants everywhere, the people in the news tribe have to decide what to take with them, when to leave, where to land. They have to figure out what is essential to their way of life and which parts were well adapted to the old world but may be unnecessary or a handicap in the new. They have to ask if what they know is portable. What life will be like across the digital sea is, of course, an unknown to the migrant. This causes an immediate crisis for the elders of the tribe, who have always known how to live. That's hard enough, but even more difficult, more challenging to the political wisdom of the press tribe is that on the terrain where the press has to be rebuilt, there are people already there. Like Jane Hampshire and Chuck DeFeo and Arianna Huffington and Glenn Reynolds. And they're busy building a kind of alternative civilization to the professionalized news and commentary which nonetheless they make use of with a vengeance. This is something the news tribe did not understand when it first went online around 1996. It saw the web as a good way to repurpose its content from the old platform. And while the web is flexible and can do that, the idea of repurposing news content had a huge intellectual cost. It did not help the tribe understand the ground on which it had to rebuild. It delayed the date of migration. Today the press is shared territory. It has pro and amateur zones. This is appropriate because press freedom is shared freedom. It belongs to pros and amateurs equally. Online, the two zones connect and flow together. It still works vertically, press to public. It also works horizontally, peer-to-peer. Hey, did you see this video? Part of it is a closed system, and closed systems are good at enforcing editorial controls, and the other part is an open system.